Up everybody, it's your boy Shane F on the Phillies Sports Blog. I'm going to give it to you in the order I feel like you gotta hear it. Everyone that wants to know anything about Philly sports, you come to me from now on. First, I want to talk about my team right now. It's playoff time. I got the beard going. What you know about the Philadelphia Flyers. Game 2 in Philadelphia. Series is now tied 1 apiece. I know my brothers were there. They thought it was awesome. Flyers won in a shootout. What was it? 5-4, 4-3. There was more goals. There was 9 times as many goals scored in that game than in the previous game, and I hope that's a sign of things to come because we looked dead in game 1, and it's time to turn this shit around. All my favorite players getting points on the boards. You know, Danny Briere with the last and his first of the series. I hope it ain't his last though. You see my boy Dan Carcillo putting some goals in there, so shit. As long as they all on 4 cylinders, Flyers got a chance, I think. I don't care what happened in game 1, but Pronger's coming back. You know, we're going to be more physical, better defensively. And I feel like Boucher should get the go-ahead the rest of this series. I didn't ever get sold on Bobrovsky or whatever that fucker's name is, but 3 goals on 7 shots, I don't think so. Not in playoff time. So anyway, game 3 is Monday night. That's tomorrow. I'll give you all my reaction afterwards. But anyway, you know the Philadelphia 76ers played the the Miami Heat the other day. And that game was looking good for about 1 quarter when we had the lead, until finally LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade finally made shit happen. You know, I'm proud of my guys for sticking in there, but I really wanted to see them hold it out. They had some players out there making plays. You know, my boy Drew Holiday, the first round draft pick. Thaddeus Young coming off the bench to put up 20 points, and then Elton Brand putting up a decent performance, but he's got to be shutting down them players for that money he's getting paid. Anyway, I hope to see the Sixers win at least 1 game in Miami, bring it back to Philly, and let the crowd get into it. And then you know I got to talk about my Phillies. This is the year everyone's been talking about because we got the 4 aces. We got the royal flush up there, in my opinion. As long as no one gets hurt, I want to see Chase Utley get back on the field, and you know he's a clutch bat. He plays great second base, but as long as everybody else is staying healthy, we should have a good year. Your boy Victorino, I'm telling you, all-star once again. One of the best outfielders out there. Hitting great too right now. But last but not least, I know this is on nobody's mind but mine because we're in the middle of a lockout, but Philadelphia Eagles got the NFL draft coming up in a couple weeks, a couple days. Don't matter if there's a lockout, there's still a draft. And I know you want to know who I think they want to pick or who I think they should pick. And a lot of people are saying they need to take a cornerback because their secondary is awful. The red zone defense was like last in the league. A lot of people thinking, you know, we should go along the reins of taking cornerback there. But I'm thinking, you know, you take the best player available. That's my strategy always. Unless you can trade up. Last year they traded up. They got Brandon Graham, the defensive end, who was playing decent football till he got hurt. But I don't know if there's really a defensive end in this year or even last year's draft for that much. But there's certainly a couple of cornerbacks in this year's draft, and if they wanted to trade up in a draft, this should be the draft. You got my boy Patrick Peterson, one of the top-rated prospects in this year's draft. If they could somehow get into the top 5, I don't know if that's even possible nowadays. I know the New York Jets did it a couple years ago to get Mark Sanchez, but well, you can't trade players now, so you really just have to rely on packaging a couple picks together. But if they could get Patrick Peterson, fuck. That's who I think could make an impact right here, right now for the Eagles. Besides that, Amakamura, he might make a difference. They're talking about other guys like someone from Miami or some dude from like Texas. I don't know what the difference is between them, but they all look the same physically, and their play ain't gonna really step up to the type of Asante Samuel making picks every game. But I think maybe if there's a player like Muhammad Wilkerson out of Temple available, that's a guy you gotta take. He's making big impacts in the backfield. Not to mention he's from my home college. He didn't graduate like me, but hey, he's a big body, he can get in and disrupt shit. And there's other guys on the board. I don't know if you'll see Mark Ingram fall that late, but you know, it's a two-back league now, and hell, if you could have a little smash and dash right there with Ingram and McCoy, will look alright in my opinion. Other guys I'm throwing out there, this guy Stephen Paya from Oregon State. I know he put up like the most bench presses of a record or some type in the draft. This other guy, I think named Marcus Cannon out of TCU, a big offensive lineman. You know we gotta address that need. If you don't take him in the first round, obviously take him in the second, but he's a big body that I know could maybe hold up at right tackle or one of the guards or something. Besides that, I don't think we need a pass rusher. Our linebacker situation's got to be addressed, but maybe if we could just sign some of the guys on our roster, it'll be okay. Anyway, let me wrap this shit up. You don't know about free agency, when it's going to happen with this lockout, if there's going to be a season, but anyway, a guy they should definitely go after, I don't care what he wants, is Nnamdi Asomugha. I don't know what do you say, but bring him to Philly. Give him a contract. Him and Asante Samuels will be the best bet out there, I swear to God. But anyway, Flyers, they win one of these games in Buffalo, we bring it back, get the home ice advantage. Definitely going to be something to keep my eyes out. I got to make sure they play these games on my TV though. All the fucking games on Versus is like New York and Washington, so I can't even catch them unless it's the highlights of the last 10 minutes. So they better do something about that so I can catch the shit on Monday night. Anyway, Phillies, they still in it. You know the season just getting started for them. My Sixers, I want to see them at least win one of these games against Miami. Stay tuned for the sequel. It's your boy